5 years ago, we bought this abandoned piece of land in Portugal to try to find another way of living. And since then, we have been regenerating the land, setting up our base camp, and discovering and renovating old ruins. And that is what we are gonna do in this video, renovating an old brick ruin. Welcome to a new Bread Camp update. Okay, let's recap for a moment. When we started the project, our focus was mainly on building our shared infrastructure, like kitchen, toilets or workplaces, while sleeping in vans and tents. This is okay for shorter periods and with good weather, but it becomes harder and harder over the years, especially in winter.
It can actually get quite cold.
So we started building more proper places to sleep, like the yellow van, the big trailer, or the fridge box. Still not much if we want to have more people living stable, longer and over the winter at camp. So we need more proper places to sleep. Now we are gonna renovate this brick ruin. We found it while exploring the Middle Land. And last year we also cleared it. We made a very basic drawing and posted in our research model. Got some ideas from the online community, and in the end we decided, let's go for a house with 2 rooms, well isolated and with some sort of heating system inside, so it's usable all year long. Next step, we need a design and a plan to renovate it. And to help with that, we have Ozan, who is an architect. He's gonna start by checking the state of the ruin.
Alright, so today's plan is to do a little investigation on the ruin. First of all, the state of the foundation is unknown. The floor of the ruin is a bit sketchy, so to determine the state of that, we're gonna have to break a few sections off to see what's underneath and to see what type of material that they use and such. And then the walls, they already look a bit sketchy, so we're gonna have to see what we can keep and what to demolish. That's it. Let's get started. So you can already tell the floor is very fragile and extremely thin. Not a lot of cement in it. Yeah, it seems like you can dig in for a while. Probably have to remove the floor. So this wall, partition wall, is very cracked. I can probably push it over, but I'll leave that for the demolition. The same with this wall over here. There's a huge crack here, runs all the way down. You can shake it. So we're probably gonna have to remove that as well. And then when we come over here to the north facing facade, we can see a concrete lintel going all the way from one side to the other. But if you look closely here, for example, where the lintel should be supported by this wall, it's not really. There's a gap here underneath this brick. Same with this stuff. I don't think this is supporting anything. And I imagine it's similar over here. And then the remaining walls, they seem to be stable, or more stable than the rest anyway. But I'm not so sure about the gable ends, especially near the top. Looks a bit sketchy. This is the back wall, the south-facing wall, which seems a bit sturdier than the rest, but I feel like there's still a bit of movement. That is just the first row, seems like. There might be stability issues once we remove the inside walls. While we're here, we can start digging for the foundation. I'm thinking right here, next to this big rock. It'd also be interesting to see how far the rock goes. If you look from the inside, the granite layer, it seems to be going inside the ground, but I'm just not sure about how wide it is and how deep it goes and what the state of it is. So we're just gonna have to see. About 30 centimeters deep, and it seems like the foundation is wider than the wall, which is good news, I guess. The depth of it is at least the depth of the whole structure itself, but in order to determine the actual depth we would have to dig from the inside, and we can't do that right now, so we'll move on to the other facades. Seems like we've hit rock bottom. Safe to say that it's been built on stable ground, granite until I'd say 50 centimeters, so that gives me a peace of mind. Alright, so based on this information we'll head back to the drawing board, but meanwhile the landscaping crew, they'll prepare the area for the building site.
Main things to do gonna be remove all of these mimosas around the ruin. We want to create a bigger and better place so workspace can work easily, but also reduce the fire risk. So we're gonna just leave the natives, oaks, they are more fire resilient. The rest of the mimosa, chop them all.
How are we gonna do it?
Tinch is gonna pull. I'm gonna cut with the chainsaw.
What noise is it gonna make?
We missed it for like 2 meters, but the ruin is okay, so it's fine. Nice, so Anselmo just cut the last stamp, so this area now is clean and safe. So yeah, now we're gonna move forward to the front part of the brick ruin. Here I guess that the job will be not very complex. We just need to remove some burn and rotten wood, probably rake some dead leaf from the ground. So yeah, I guess it's gonna be easy. Let's do it.
Just gonna leave it there?
Yeah, like this, no? It's gonna be the roof of the ruin.
We know that it's not the season to prune trees, should be done on winter, but what we're gonna do is just cut the small ones so we leave just this thick one and allows it to grow faster and stronger. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do with all the oaks around. Well, the job is almost finished. We chopped all the mimosas, we work in the oak trees, so now they are looking beautiful. And you might be asking what I'm doing with this thing. Have a lot of wood to chop.
Great job from the landscaping team. But there's still one of the members missing.
Okay, that was quick. We finished all the work around the brick ruin. We chop all the mimosas, we just leave the natives, oaks. Luckily, we didn't damage the structure. That was a challenge, still intact. We clean all the surface, we create an easy access for the pickup, more comfortable as well. So, landscape work is done. Let's go back to workspace and ocean.
Alright, now let's have a look at the design. As you've seen, the current state of the ruin is a challenge. It was built a long time ago in a very sketchy way, and it was intended for animals. And then it was abandoned for many years, and then it went through a big fire in 2017. So some of the walls are very weak and wobbly, and the foundation of the floor is non-existent. But we still want to renovate it instead of fully demolishing it, because we want to keep as much of the materials as possible to use less resources. We want to keep the original look to remind us of the history of the building. And we're not going to use the existing walls as a load-bearing structure, but as thermal mass. We're not crazy. We're going to make sure the building is stable, structurally sound and safe for its future inhabitants. So as you see, we will use wood to make a solid structure so weights are not carried by the bricks. And for that we will need to add foundations, so we're not going to rely on the existing ones. Still, it will be a bit of an experimental approach for us, and we will define it better as we go and find our best solutions, and also what second-hand materials we can get. Okay, that's the design. Now let's get ready for a demolition. Okay, so we're gonna remove this gable, the gable on the other end, these two walls, the floor, and last but not least we're gonna remove this piece of granite that's sticking out in the back wall because it's gonna interfere with our structure. Now let's get ready to break some walls. Wait! Not like that! We're gonna take it apart one by one.
Why?
Because we're gonna reuse the bricks.
Okay.
Obviously.
Darn.
Number one. There's kind of like a crack there. If I were to push over, this row will come with it, which is fine because we don't want a loose row anyway. And then see what we can save from the bricks.
So, as we're taking it apart, most of the bricks are cracking anyway, or they're already cracked, so we're probably just gonna push it down. So now we're gonna demolish the floor. It's about, I don't know how many centimeters, 8 centimeters, 6,
More like 2.
2 centimeters. We're just gonna smash that and haul it out.
So we've been digging for quite a while. We're almost at the right depth, but to be sure we are there, we put up a laser.
We're just finishing up
What happened to the floor?
leveling the floor, the last digging, and we found this little rodent skull of some kind. We think it's pretty cool. So the digging of the floor of the ruin is basically done. We've got this big old chunk of granite in the corner that's gonna be in the way. So I'm gonna use the angle grinder with the diamond wheel to cut the rock and chisel it away, and let's see how long it takes. Have been working with the grinder and chisels on this rock, but it's taking a while, so we got upgraded. we got rid of the rock. And it was actually extremely easy. It only took about 3 minutes of video time, so not that much of a challenge.
Funny guys, it took a bit more than 3 minutes. But now the floor is ready and we are almost there with our demolition. Last thing to do is widening the door openings.
We are going to reinforce this bit temporarily, and then we're gonna put another plank in order to prevent it from coming this way.
I'm taking the stuff out of your bucket.
What are you guys doing?
I'm robbing the bucket.
You're on the clock. Come on, chop chop. Fastest gets a raise.
Well, her bucket was almost full. Oh, wow. That's not fair.
Okay, last detail, getting rid of the moss on the stone wall.
Okay, the demolition is finished. So far, we removed the inner walls, the gables, we got rid of the floor, we widened the door openings, and we finally lightly pressure washed the walls. This means we can start building.
But that will be for a future update. For now, we have a clean canvas, with all the unstable or broken parts removed and ready to start working on the foundations. In the end, we couldn't save many bricks from the demolition, but we got these granite slabs. Not sure if we can use them for something, but they look cool. And that was it for the demolition part. If you like what we do, you can support us in Patreon. You can already watch the next video 1 week ahead in 4K and without ads. Also, we are posting new exclusive content for Patreon, so if you like it, go there. If not, see you in the next update.